Today I am replacing the motherboard on a Dell Latitude. This is a 5400. Turn that over like this. So you can almost see that. There. It's Latitude 5400. I have to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws, and that's just to get the bottom off. Once that's done, there'll be more, but we'll get to that. I used I think this is a 1/4 inch Phillips screwdriver. It's a fairly small one. The screws are also fairly small, so use whatever fits. Now, in order to pry the laptop lid off, I'm going to use a very thin flat blade. There we go, that's better. Plastic might be better, but a metal one will work. Just make sure it's as thin as possible, because we got to get into the edge here. You might hear a popping sound as each little clasp releases. You can just set it aside. Okay, the next step is to take out the battery. I've turned it upside down from the previous shot because it'll be easier for me to take out the battery with it facing this direction. Keep all the screws kind of separated into separate piles. There aren't too many different sizes of screws, but it can get confusing to put them back in. So at this point, we're taking pretty much every single screw that we need to take out of this, at least this section, because this is our replacement part right here. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. But basically this whole part is going to go in right here. We might have to take out some of these parts as well to get some of this other stuff off. Getting this connector off was very difficult. I wiggled it around back and forth for several minutes before I finally just got my fingernail underneath it and pried it up ever so slightly, and at that point it came right out. So if you're having a hard time getting it out, I would say just wiggle it back and forth until it looks like it's not going to come any further. Then either stick your fingernail or a plastic tool underneath it to pry it up ever so slightly, and then hopefully it'll pop right out for you too. I can't stress enough that you don't want to force this connector to come loose. If you rip the cable, you will ruin the fan, and the fan is what keeps your processor cool on the laptop. Okay, now we got to remove this screw, and however many other screws are left, but we're going to continue on right here. Now we're going to have to take out this screw, and I believe this screw. We might have to take out this one too, but we're basically just removing them as necessary. And then we're going to go ahead and take out this one and this one to make moving this around a little bit easier. These screws are a little tough to get out. Basically just push down a little harder and then just give it kind of a little bit of a jerk, and then it'll come loose. And then this is going to start to come up a little bit easier. Alright, this took some jiggling, but once it gets free, you can remove it. You're going to need to take it out anyway. Oh, I shouldn't say jiggling. That's the processor, and that's the thermal paste. Okay, we're going to go ahead and remove these last two screws down here. Thing left to take out at this point is right here. Okay, now that this is out of the way, I think I'm going to take this off still. Possibly that. This doesn't seem to want to move just yet, but it also might be that the motherboard slides underneath it. Since we're having a hard time with this, we're going to move on to these connectors right here. Lift this up. And I think this is the last screw. Okay, this piece was a lot easier to get out once we just kind of did this, and now it's all loose. And once you get this loose, you can just kind of pull this up a little bit, and then this will just kind of snap free. And then this will come out. Yeah, the only thing left to remove from this piece, we didn't take the memory out yet, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, now that we have the motherboard out, we're just going to set it aside. And the replacement came with a cleaning pad and silver paste. We're going to go ahead and clean off. This is the heatsink. We're going to go ahead and clean that off before we put the new motherboard in and put the silver compound on it. Okay, now that I've completely cleaned off the underside of the heatsink, I'm just going to set that aside and let it air dry, and then I'm going to get the new motherboard and replace it. Okay, so here's the new board. As you can see, there's no thermal paste yet. I'm going to go ahead and put it in, and then I'll put the thermal paste on it.
It also has these little yellow, I'm going to call them stickers, that need to be removed so that the connectors can be put in.
I occasionally had a hard time keeping the cables on top of the board, so I had to undo a lot of what I had done in order to fix that and then put everything back the way it was.
Putting as much back together as I can because I want to wait as long as possible to put the heat-seeking fan on with the silver thermal compound. what this little orange sticker dot was for, but I took it off. This little small dot. Point, we're pretty much just putting everything back in the reverse that we took it out. Put all the screws back in. Time to put on the bottom. Alright, all done. Let's see if it boots up. Got a splash screen, that's a good sign. Okay. Gotta install a service tag. Retry boot. Gonna go ahead and hit F2 to get into the BIOS. I'm gonna go ahead and enter the service tag. Okay, I entered the service tag. I rebooted. Got the Dell splash screen. And it looks like we're booting up. There we go. All done.